Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTN 24. Reaching you live from Abuja, I am Mina Daniels. The headlines. Senate resolves to carry out comprehensive investigation into activities of fraudulent investment schemes. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, advocates special seat bill for women in parliament. Stakeholders from cotton, textile and garment industries synergize with federal governments to drive growth. The Senate has resolved to carry out a comprehensive investigation into the activities of fraudulent investment schemes, commonly known as Ponzi schemes in Nigeria, to protect citizens. In a motion jointly sponsored by Senator Abiru Adetokunbo and Senator Osita Izunaso, lawmakers expressed concern over increasing sophistication of operators of such fraudulent schemes and the devastating consequences of their actions on unsuspecting members of the public. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
It was such a terrible nightmare, and many Nigerians committed suicide when they lost their monies.
I wondered how this monumental fraud will happen to Nigeria when we have a regulator, the Central Bank of Nigeria, in place.
While debating the motion, lawmakers made specific reference to the recent crypto bullion exchange, CBEX, MMM and MBA Forex, who lured Nigerians with promise of outrageous returns, but suddenly collapsed, resulting in investors losing trillions of naira.
Despite the scale of operations and visibility of CBEX, it operated for an extended period without facing sanctions by either the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the CBN, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, and also EFCC.
All these agencies, that's their job. They must not allow this to always slip.
It behoves on us to look at whatever loopholes or lacuna in the existing laws that these Ponzi schemes exploit.
Senate committees on banking, anti-corruption and ICT were mandated to conduct the investigation. In another effort to tackle emerging issues in the power sector, Senate passed for second reading the Electricity Act Amendment Bill after a vibrant debate during which lawmakers highlighted key challenges.
None of the generating companies has paid NNPC for the gas they have taken for the last 5 years. So if we deduct, this gas belongs to government. If we deduct the cost of gas from the GENCOs, from what they are owing federal government, there is no owing at all.
You license some people to generate electricity. You license some people to distribute electricity. And government is holding on to transmission. I believe that is one of the critical problems.
We want to cure such anomalies and disputes within the Electricity Act.
Other adoptions at the Senate were the passage at second reading of bills to establish Federal Polytechnic in Ebonyi State and Federal College of Education, Kebbi State. Senate has commended the appointment of Nigeria's Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, as the head of the World Customs Organization.
This position places Nigeria at the epicenter of global trade facilitation policies, customs standards development, and international border security patrol protocols that govern trillions of dollars in global commerce annually.
Not every government agency do meet its revenue target, but customs has surpassed it by more than 10 to 20%.
Lawmakers at plenary observed a minute's silence in honor of late Senator Caleb Zagi from Kaduna State and the wife of Senator Diket Plank, who died this week. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Chinese embassy in Nigeria has reiterated support for the country's war on telecommunications and online fraud, especially with regards to recent cases involving Chinese nationals. A statement from the Chinese embassy, signed by Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Yu Donghai, indicates the Chinese embassy maintains an unwavering stance against telecommunications and online fraud, cross-border illegal activities, and other crimes. The embassy says Nigeria's law enforcement agencies are doing quite well in the war against telecommunications fraud, and its net has caught many suspects, including some Chinese nationals, over the past year. The embassy expressed commitment to this stance and a consensus reached between Chinese and Nigerian leaders. It expresses readiness to strengthen law enforcement cooperation with Nigeria. The Chinese embassy reiterated China's commitment to protecting its citizens' interests abroad, while also mandating them to comply with local laws and regulations. It says the Chinese government has also demonstrated its commitment to combating telecommunications and online fraud through China's Anti-Telecommunications and Online Fraud Law, released in 2022. This legislation demonstrates China's zero-tolerance policy and resolute commitment to combating such crimes. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is leading the advocacy for the passage of Special Seat Bill for Women in Parliament at the People's House Open Week 2025. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that traditional institutions also took their turn as Speaker Abbas Tajuddin received their submissions ahead of the constitutional review exercise.
Seated here are diverse women groups who came together to speak with one voice. The dialogue is to bridge the gap of underrepresentation among women folks. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu's message cited the role of women that could not be underscored, stressing the need for more representation in the decision-making process.
The truth is that women remain significantly underrepresented in all levels of governance, despite making up nearly half of the population. This is not just a question of fairness, it is a matter of strengthening our democracy and deepening our national development.
With our hearts open and eyes unclouded, in the chambers where laws are made, when voices rise on tax and trade, but fall silent on the pain of childbirth or the shame girls carry for bleeding in school, who will speak of the mother who died giving life?
We are asking that we please be given some reserved seats so that women can compete among themselves.
The leadership of the House also engaged traditional rulers on their constitutional role.
One of the most important roles that the traditional rulers will be playing or will be officially playing is, advisory services to the government. At any level, you'll find out that we have traditional, leaders there.
It has gone to a stage whereby even the traditional ruler himself, he does not want to involve in politics. In some cases where the government is the one, the government of the day is the one that appointed you to become Your Majesty. You see that if when during their rally or their campaign day to your local government or to your kingdom, in some cases they drag you to participate on the field. And if you don't do that, they say you're not loyal. You start having issues with that administration.
We want to join hands with the government in the area of community policing to complement the proposed state police, which is still on the table as well, so that there will be better security and quality.
Traditional rulers must have to be part of government, recognized.
And we want to assure you that we will continue to do everything humanly possible to make sure that this time around your collective aspiration and ours as will see the light of the day. Your Royal Highnesses, the National Assembly is dedicated to creating a system that blends modern governance with our cherished traditions.
The House Open Week continues Thursday with more citizens' participatory sessions. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has told the global community that there is no time to wait for the future to happen. Rather, there must be a global resolve to shape it now by promoting initiatives that support the youth and their aspirations. This was part of her address at the 3rd Annual Global First Partners Academy in New York. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
It is day 2 at the Global First Partners Academy, ongoing in Manhattan, New York, and participants look forward to another session of capacity building, collaboration, and peer review. Their theme for the day, First Partners' Role in the World, Preparing the Youth for the Future, saw faculty members sharing insights and tools with First Ladies on how to engage in constructive dialogue, promote social cohesion, and lead initiatives that transform polarization into opportunities for inclusive growth. Speaking to the theme as she takes a turn at the podium, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu is emphatic that the first step towards building a sustainable future starts with acknowledging the potential of youths and backing their aspirations with strategic initiatives.
My experience has made me to realize that our youth are creative, innovative, hardworking, and resilient. Preparing the youth for the future also means meeting them where they are, in the digital space, in technology, creative industries, in conversations about climate action and governance. As adults, we have a lot of catching up to do. We have to build bridges to engage our youth through scholarships, internships, mentorships, and programs that foster civic participation and public service.
She says, as maternal figures in national and global communities, First Ladies must leverage their unique position to seek partnership that provide holistic solutions to issues affecting children, women, and the youth.
Currently, as First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I have aligned my programs with the Renewed Hope agenda of the President, focusing on inclusive development and social upliftment of children, youth, and women towards ensuring better lives for their families.
Presentations by other First Partners examined the roles of artificial intelligence in women's health and technological trends shaping youth's future and food security. Call it another school sessions for the First Ladies, and you just might be right. The last 2 days at the Academy have, at the very least, offered participants fresh perspectives on key issues and their roles. The expectation of the Academy, and indeed the rest of the world, is that this training will shape their advocacy and sharpen their focus on key target areas. From Manhattan in New York, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
The administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is media-friendly and will continue to be so if journalists remain steadfast in adhering to professional conduct. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reassured this when he received the National Executive of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Salihu Abdullahi Wanara reports.
Like the slogan of the government, Renewed Hope, the editors have acknowledged the renewed management of government information under the watch of Mohammed Idris, devoid of controversies. Nigeria Guild of Editors, in solidarity with the strategy that is stabilizing the nation's media ecosystem, have presented proposals on media laws reform as a commitment for collaboration.
A couple of laws which are overlapping, both in the penal code and the criminal code, and we feel that instead of having duplication of some of these laws, they should be harmonized. We have recommended repeal of some of them.
Be assured of our support and partnership always
to ensure that all that is required of us to make the media robust and to also continuously to be objective in our jobs.
The minister assured that, like the reforms of the administration being implemented towards a more prosperous Nigeria, the media will not be an exception.
It's important that all of us come together, government and the media, so that we can have the kind of society that all of us so desire to have. You can't, in your attempt to criticize government, also try to bring down the roof of the house. We are all Nigerians. We must have a country before we even have the Nigerian media. This patriotism, reporting with that sense of patriotism is critical even for your job. It is the best editor, someone said, is the one that knows what not to say.
He promised to engage with relevant stakeholders and harmonize ideas to give the proposals on media laws reform the required attention. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTNS 24. More reports after the break.
The Baffy Furniture Shopping Festival is here from June 15th to August 15th. Enjoy 20%, 30%, up to 50% off on most products. Explore 2025 exclusive collections at discounted prices, plus wedding packages with a free TV stand gift. Plus, free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. Customize your favorite sets in your preferred color and fabric, from kid-friendly options to our luxurious smart beds. Don't miss out. Shop now at Baffy Furniture.
Welcome back. A book authored by former presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu during official lunch turned an assemblage of high and mighty on the nation's political landscape. Abubakar Akwanga reports that the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, is the character of the title, according to the president, Lessons from Presidential Spokesperson's Experience.
This is one of the largest political gatherings in recent times, with more than 90% of former President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet members, members of the diplomatic corps, and other critical stakeholders across sectors in attendance. Others are former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former secretaries to the government of the Federation, former and present ministers, including representatives of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Malam Garba Shehu's account provides a critical behind-the-scenes perspective. The book also serves as a repository of wisdom for public communicators, policymakers, scholars, historians, and Nigerians at large. It offers key lessons on leadership communication, governance under pressure, and intersection between power and public perception.
In writing this book, he says categorically that he set out to write not an autobiography, but a textbook for those who will in the future be media advisors and practitioners in the prestigious but often difficult, sometimes treacherous terrain.
This one further goes to show the loyalty, commitment, and the way Buhari's aides hold him in high esteem during and even after leaving office.
The book, titled, according to the president, Lessons from Presidential Spokesperson's Experience, is a new bride in Nigeria's library shelves, with 10 chapters and 239 pages, authored by the famous veteran and former presidential spokesperson, Malam Garba Shehu.
Shehu assembles a compelling narrative using presidential speeches, public statements, press briefings, and behind-the-scene reflections to portray what Buhari said, what he meant, and why he acted the way he did on core national issues.
His dedication to truth and transparency in journalism has made him one of Nigeria's finest media personalities.
Prominent Nigerians described Malam Garba Shehu as an impeccable character in the Nigerian media space who has earned himself a life medal that will endure to the end of time, and commended the deep insight into former President Muhammadu Buhari's 8 years leadership. Malam Garba Shehu, a towering figure on the nation's media ecosystem, said his desires are finally met owing to the tough moment he was able to transmit into an intellectual property that will inspire generations to come.
I hope we are able to bring him much closer to Nigeria so that they will understand him, including, as the Vice President said, the things that he eats, the clothes that he wears. Why would he reject a diamond wristwatch? All of these things, people will learn, from them. Muhammad Buhari has done his part, and the legacy must be preserved.
I am Muhammad Buhari, not of Daura, but of discipline, not of tribe, but of truth.
The cerebral former President Muhammadu Buhari no doubt has left many parts unpublished, but this particular one is a documented journey of a man who came, saw, and conquered despite many challenges. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
And in a bid to strengthen collaboration and drive growth in Nigeria's textile industry, stakeholders from the cotton, textile and garment sector paid a courtesy visit to the Secretariat of the Government of the Federation. The meeting highlighted key opportunities in the industry. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
These stakeholders from the cotton, textile and garment industry are on a significant mission to engage with the government on ways to revitalize and grow the sector. Discussions centered on crucial issues affecting the industry's competitiveness and sustainability.
But then there were certain developments that affected the industry, and that is why government quickly accepted this suggestion from your own group to put up this board to ensure that there is a revitalization of that very, very vital sector.
We have no doubt that under your leadership and your continued support, the CTG sector will drive prosperity, job creation, and industrial growth for Nigeria.
The recent approval by the National Economic Council to establish the Cotton, Textile and Garment Development Board triggered the stakeholders' request to seek the constitution of the board and its inauguration. This move aims to revitalize rural communities, boost non-oil export, and reduce textile import dependence.
Since the cotton board was dissolved many years ago, this board will play a pivotal role in bringing the sector back to life.
Most importantly, it's commendable also that this board is going to be industry driven. It's not going to be like maybe some other boards that people who are not vested in the industry are the one driving it.
The stakeholders affirmed their commitment to work with the federal government to reposition the sector as a cornerstone of economic diversification. In Abuja, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Niger Delta Development Commission is poised to expand the scope of its projects to attract funding from donor agencies. NDDC Managing Director, Chief Samuel Lubuku, who revealed this in Asaba during a World Press Conference to mark the 25 years anniversary of the Commission, assured the people of the region that the current NDDC management is working hard to complete all abandoned projects. Jude Abugu has details.
Since 12th July 2000, when it was established by an Act of Parliament, the Niger Delta Development Commission has embarked on numerous projects to improve socio-economic lives and well-being of the Niger Delta people. Presenting the 25-year scorecard to journalists and top media executives, including NTA Executive Director News, Ayo Adewuyi, the Managing Director, Chief Samuel Obuku, says the Commission is bridging the developmental gaps in the oil-rich Niger Delta.
Schools were built in these communities, hospitals were built, electricity was provided, and so many water was given to the people. Most of the government presence you see in rural communities in the Niger Delta are NDDC agents. That is to say, NDDC have come a long way.
He thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for having the interests of the region at heart in his Renewed Hope agenda.
We are trying to integrate the Project Hope portal and that of the Youth Internship Scheme so that people will not escape to say they benefited from Project Hope, they want to come and benefit from Youth Internship Scheme. So that integration process is on. Now, migrating two of them, integrating them to make up the NDDC Renewed Hope Empowerment Scheme.
The Commission reaffirms commitment to partnering state governments and other organizations to maintain its positive trajectory. From Asaba, Delta State, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Mina Danos.